Hey, what's going on, guys? Coming at you with an updated deck profile, post Breakers of Shadow, and today I'll be showing you guys my Infernoids. So starting off with the Infernoid monsters, we of course have the free Decatron. It's of course the best one for the fact that you can actually normal summon it, and you can also special summon it by card effect, like 1-for-1 or Norden, things like that. And then it also can pretty much become any other Infernoid, because you can send an Infernoid from the deck to the graveyard when it's summoned. Then it copies its effect and gains its level as well. Then, of course, it also does happen to be a tuner, which means it helps facilitate your synchro plays as well. Then we have the 2 Antra. It's a level 2 that can target a card your opponent controls and return to the hand, so it's just basically a walking compulse. The 2 Harmonic lets you target a monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and then it can attack the turn it does so. The important thing with it is that it's a level 3, so it can facilitate some of your synchro plays, especially if you mill it off of Decatron. Then we have the 1 Permias. It's a level 1 that lets you target a set card your opponent controls, shuffle back into the deck, and then similar to Night Beam, the opponent can't activate that card in response to Permias. So it can be decent at times, especially now that Pepe plays a bunch of well, not a bunch of back row, but they play like the Solemn Strikes and Warnings and stuff, so you can hit those off of Permias. But other than that, it's just here for an extra name, and it's here as a level 1 that you can dump off a Decatron to go into your Gaianet, the Force of Earth, as a level 6 synchro. Then we have the free Petrulia. It's a walking MST. You just, once per turn, target a spell or trap card on the field, destroy it, and then it can't attack that turn. Then, again, it's a level 4, so it helps you go into some of your synchro and XYZ plays with its level. Then we have the free Systemus. If this card bows an opponent's monster, you can, at the end of the battle phase, banish a card on the field, and that effect is not target, which means you can get around some very annoying things like Dark Destroyer and Magispector monsters. Then we have the free Atotendel. This is your OTK maker. If it destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can get a second attack. Some people are cutting this to 2 because it doesn't work against pendulum monsters, but the way I see it is, the main pendulum decks out there being Pepe, Magispector, Magicians, they're usually going to leave a board where they have some kind of XYZ or Synchro monster on board, so you'll usually have a target on field for a Tottenham to hit to be able to get its second attack, in my opinion. Then we have the 2 Debiati and 2 Anunku to round out the Infernoid monsters. Anunku is a dark hole to where when it's summoned, you can destroy all of our monsters on the field. And then once per turn, during either player's turn, it can negate a spell or trap card activation. With Deviati, it is a heavy storm when it's summoned, destroys all spells and traps except for void cards. And then once per turn, during either player's turn, it can negate a monster effect. A lot of people do a ratio of 2-to-1 or even 1-to-1 with these boss monsters, but I like having a second copy of each because I feel like they're both just as valuable this format, with this being able to negate spells and traps, Deviati being able to blow up all spells and traps, Anunku being able to wipe the board to go for more damage, Deviati being able to negate monster effects. They're both just as good in my opinion. And then I like having the second copy of each so that if I need to banish one to summon an Infernoid, I can do that and still have the second copy available. And it also just means I'm more likely to hit them and get them in the graveyard off of like all my milling cards. So that's it for the Infernoids, total of 21 of them. For the Lightsworns, we have the free Raiden and the 1 Lila. Again, this is something that people usually run as a smaller engine, like they run 2 Raiden, 1 Lila, or even just 3 Raiden inside the Lila. But I like this ratio because Raiden's a pretty solid normal summon. If you don't have Decatron, just mills 2 right away. It's a level 4 tuner, which is also good. And then Lila is a searchable out to annoying back row off a Charge Light Brigade. Can out Imperial Iron Wall, can out Emptiness, can bait out Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, so on and so forth. Then for the final monster, we have the 2 Card Trooper. This again is another good normal summon or even hit off a Reasoning or Norden as well. The cool thing that makes him a little bit better than Raiden in some situations is that his mill is a cost, so like even if his effect's negated off by Norden or by like Skill Drain or Effect Failure or something like that, it still gets the free mills. Then if its effect does go through, it goes up to 1900 attack, which can be pretty good. And then if it's destroyed, you of course get to draw a card as well. So that's it for monsters. For spells, we have the triple Reasoning and the 1 Monster Gate. Of course, it's a staple in Infernoids. The 2 Charged Light Brigade to search out our 4 Lightsworns. They get those 3 mills as well. The 2 instant fusion. I like this a little bit more than Rekindling or Soul Charge, because with instant fusion you get the Norden along with a monster you can bring back from graveyard like Decatron. You can bring back Raiden, Lila, or Card Trooper. Now, granted, the effect's going to be negated, but you're usually going to use those to go into an instant synchro or XYZ play. And the cool thing, too, is if you bring back Card Trooper off of Norden, you can still activate Card Trooper's effect and still get the mills, but you just won't get the attack boost. So Instant Fusion is just a way to make another push, go for that synchro play. It's especially good if you can go for like a Scrap Archfiend or some other vanilla monster like Gem Knight Pearl that won't count towards your Infernoid summoning conditions. So it's just kind of another way to just push for more monsters on board. Then we have the 2 Void Seer, obviously to protect our Infernoids from card effects, and then of course we can banish it from the graveyard to protect them from being destroyed by a card effect as well. For 1-0s we have the 1 Burial, the 1 Foolish, and then finally the 1 for 1. So that's it for main deck. Total of 40 cards. It's 27 monsters and 13 spells. Now on to the extra deck. So starting off, we have the 2 Norden for the 2 instant fusion. For synchros, we have our Mateys. This is something we can make if we use Norden to bring back Decatron. Because of course, Decatron on its own is a level 1 tuner, and we can't really get the Foolish effect if we bring back off a Norden. So it's nice to have the ability to just go into a 5 like our Mateys. If I had the level 5 from High Speed Riders, I forget what it's called, but it's one that does allow itself to like attack twice, and it's like 2200 attack. I probably would play that, but for now it's our Mateys, and I mean our Mateys is pretty decent on its own anyway. We have Gaia Knight for our 6, and since it's a vanilla. We have Ancient Sacred Wyvern, which we make off of Raiden in one of our level 3s. It gains attack equal to the difference in life points if we're up on life, so that can really help facilitate OTKs. Then we have Black Rose and Scrap Archfiend for the Ever 7s. For 8s, we have Scrap Dragon and Stardust Dragon. Obviously, if I had Cyframe Lord Omega, I'd probably take out Scrap Dragon for that, just because it can snipe a card away from the opponent's hand. Then it can also put back banished cards back to our graveyard, and then if it goes to the graveyard, we can shuffle itself and another card in our graveyard back into the deck to just reuse. So overall, it's just a really, really good card in Infernoids, but as I said, I unfortunately do not own one right now. Then for the final synchro, we had the 1 Star Eater. With Decatron's effect to gain levels, it's actually not that hard to go into Star Eater. We can send like a Systemus, which is a 7, to boost Decatron to an 8, and then we can synchro an 8 and a 3 into Star Eater. I've actually done it a couple times. It's a nice 3200 body that you can attack with free release, and it's unaffected by card effects when it battles. And then it also gets around Solemn Strike and Warning since its summon cannot be negated. So that's why it's actually kind of relevant, this format, I think. Then for 4s, we have Abyss Dweller, Castel, and then Gem Knight Pearl, since of course is a vanilla. Then we have Master of Blades, and then finally Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand for big XYZs. Again, if I had Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, Draco Sack, or Big Eye, I'd probably replace the Master of Blades with one of those, but for now, Master of Blades is a decent filler. So now to wrap it up with the side deck. Starting off, we have the 2 Chaos Hunter. Obviously, this is something we can hit off a Reasoning or Monster Gate against Cosmo to really try to shut them down. It's good against the mirror as well. And then if we do have this in hand, if the opponent would Spell Summon a monster, we can also discard a card to Spell Summon it right away, which can also be a really good way to shut the opponent down and keep him from banishing. Then we have the 1 Jinzo, just basically a walking roll to create that we can hit off of, again, Reasoning or Monster Gate. Then we have the 1 Thunder King Ryo, which is another target for those aforementioned cards that can just shut off Searching, which this deck barely does any of at all. Then from Breakers of Shadow, we have the free Twin Twister. This is good because we can hit 2 back row off of it. We can discard a card that we don't mind having in graveyard, or it's just kind of dead in our hand. So yeah, Twin Twisters is good for that. I actually like it even more than Galaxy Cyclone in this deck because you can just hit any two spells and traps, whereas Cyclone is specific as to whether you have to hit a set card or a face-up card. So yeah. Then we have Regeki, just if we're going second and we need another board clearer to just get rid of those annoying boards, try to bait out an Infinity Negation, things like that. Then we have the triple breakthrough skill, upper die effect negation, that we can use out of the graveyard. 2 mischief for the knowns, level reduction that we can also use out of the graveyard. And finally the 2 world decree. So that's it for this updated deck profile for Infernoid's post Breakers of Shadow. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.